Hi everybody, welcome to today's session. We'll be covering the release notes of the latest version, which those of you on the beta testing will have already had the release, but those of you on the general release, it should be towards the end of next week that it'll be officially released, because we're still doing some testing. So those of you who don't recognise my voice, it's Ollie, and Steve will be manning the live chat if you've got any questions as well. On the YouTube chat, that is. Okay, so to kick things off, I'm going to talk through a couple of quick things. So what's available? So UFP stock checking facilities now been added into Prima. Trade supply, automated terms, stock files and EDI ordering are all available again. And then bringing back records on all modules for the links tab. There's been some speed improvements around that, so how quickly the sales order can link through to the receipt note or the sales invoice, for example. So I'll just quickly show you that, which if I just have that open on my other screen. There we go. Right, so for example, we're in a sales order at the moment. This links tab is active in most areas of Prima, so against a sales line, against a invoice line, etc. When you click on this links tab, it's just improving the speed of what rate that's going to bring all these modules up. So if this order was linked through to an invoice, a dispatch note, a receipt note, a purchase order, all these are going to load up pretty much instantly. So that's a good new feature of the development. Okay, so what I'm going to go on to now, so part allocating, that's now available from the requirements area. So previously, you put your sales order on, you've got 5 in stock, but you put an order on for 10. The full quantity of 10 will go to your requirements list, and effectively you then make the decision as to where you want to do your ordering or whether you want to allocate from stock. So from that point in requirements, you would then have to go to your stock products to part allocate that stock, but it's now been added into the requirements area, which is a really good efficient way of doing it. So if I just search for an item, I'm not sure if I'll have any requirements. Actually, I'll put a sales order on if not. Right, so just put a quick sales order on. Create that. So I know for this code I'm putting on, so this KF24009, so we've got 5 in stock, I know that off the top of my head. And if I just put in 10 in stock, for example, well, there you go, you can see there's 4 in stock. So if I save that, click authorize, and then as you can see, it's requested because it can't fulfill the full quantity to allocate. So what we'll do there, so on your requirements list, if we refresh that, scroll down, and then you can see there's a pack of 10, 10's requested, and 4's available. So previously you'd have to link through to the product, go to the balances, and then allocate from there and make your decision on what balances you've got available. But now you can just click part allocate at the bottom, and then straight away that 4's been allocated to that item, and you can see there 4's allocated, and then if you scroll across the right, I'll tell you that 6 outstanding. So it's just a layout of the requirements on this user, but so that's part allocating from requirements. So another one that's been added in is the ability to delete sales lines that are allocated. So again, previously it was a bit of a process to be able to find the item in the products and remove the allocation before removing the line, etc. So if I just find an allocated order, so use this top one for example. Okay, so as you can see there, the line's allocated. So another option you can do, so if you double click into it, there is the option here to deallocate, which you can do in delete, but a quicker way of just doing it, highlighting the line, clicking the delete icon. Are you sure? Yes. Oh, I would pick one that's been externally paid. Never mind. So the reason that's not deleting is because the order's been has been paid. So I'll just pick one that's not been externally paid. Let's check that out before I try that one. again. Certainly paid. Right, I'll just create a new sales order, sorry. Beggar's luck. Use this company. Create. So I'll use another KF code. Okay, so we've got stock of this one. So if I authorise that, straight away the line's allocated. So you'd come into your sales order, click delete. Are you sure you wish to delete? Click yes, and then that's then updated your line to be archived. So previously you linked through to the products again, as I mentioned previously. Go to the balances and remove the allocation. So basically the steps for the part allocating and deleting allocated lines, it's taking the process out of having to go to your product balances and perform the removal of allocations or part allocating, etc. So a really good feature added in. So on to the next one. So improvements to the contract grid manager. So within company and contract grid manager. So within here, so more search filters have been added in, such as product classifications, product status, etc. So these have all been added in, so you can now search on, well, I want to make sure all of my, let's use paper, so paper, all my paper items are getting a certain margin, for example, so you can search for paper, on contract that is, so go to the result, you can see what paper items are showing, go to change, and then what you can also do now is set a certain markup or margin against the item. So if you want to say, I want to make 30% on all paper, blah 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 blah, you can do that, click yes, and then apply that, which will then update as well. So there's a few extra added facilities into the grid manager for the contracts area as well. Okay, right, so next one, so purchase orders, you can now add lines as you can in the sales area, so we're just trying to keep it consistent throughout the system. So if I go to a purchase order, okay, and then summary. So within the summary area, so similar to sales orders, you've got your line entry here, so you can fire away, enter in the code, whether it be a catalog item or a stock item, enter that on, search for that, save that onto the purchase order, and then a quick just way of updating that. So invalid stock item, so that's with it being a test database, I think that's just something to do with the stock against item, so not to worry on that point. So yeah, so adding lines onto the purchase order, more streamlined in the way you can do the line entry, but you can still pick from your requirements as well. So a few options in terms of your stock orders. So some dealers will create a manual purchase order and then add lines in, and then you can click this buy more option, which will take you through to your requirements and see what requirements you've got to add onto your existing purchase order. But an alternative for your stock orders, you can click summary, enter away as you would on your sales orders and add them in quicker, but you can still add the lines from within here. So you can click in the bottom section, click on the new, and that'll allow you to add lines in that way as well. So there's a few different ways you can do it, whatever you prefer, but we've added in the summary just to keep it consistent with the sales orders area as well. Okay, customer business review report, so that was released, I believe the last release or the one before, but we've had some feedback on it just to ask about making it more improvements to the layout and the colour and stuff. So if I just open that to show you that. Can take a few seconds to load the data in the report, but the connection in this meeting room is not the best, so apologies for the slight delay. There we go. Right, so as you can see, colour formatted, the formatting of the text, etc., is much neater. again with the rows and the columns here as well. If we go across to all the graphs and the charts, etc., looking much neater. If we scroll to the right, what you can do as well, we had some feedback around the classifications as well. So at the moment, what you've got in this report, you can see what kind of classifications the customer, in this case is this Athlone Town FC, is buying through. So you can see quite a lot of pockets and binders and files and furniture and pens and pencils, etc., but they're not buying any of the below. So it can look a little untidy with all these showing, but it can highlight to the customer as well what else you do offer. So but if you just wanted to show them an overview of what they've spent, what you can do there is, within this criteria, what else we've added in is include classification spend where the percentage is above. So if I said, well, I don't want them to say anything that they haven't spent over 5% of the classifications with, and then if I save that and go back to that area, just take a few seconds to refresh. There we go. So that's removed everything that's under 5%, so you can only see now files, pockets and binders, so they wouldn't see the rest of the percentages that they've spent with you. So that's just a way of making it more tidy. They can see their classifications where the spend is more than 5% as well. But yeah, so that's everything I wanted to cover with the new features in the release. If you've got any questions, myself and Steve will be hanging around on the live chat for a few moments after the session. If you're interested in one-to-one training, you want to perhaps go through some of the features we've covered today, please don't hesitate to contact me, myself or Steve, or drop an email to training@primasoftware.co.uk, and we can sort out sessions for you, whatever's best for you. But yeah, thank you for your time today. Hope you all have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.